Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and today I am going to be getting on with some work on the Rover 75. I'm going to do a bit on the inside, a bit on the outside. My pal Simon from Smashing Pistons is coming down, so we'll crack on and do some work.
Welcome to Beards and Bangers.
So the first disaster of the day's already happened. I've just given the car a bit of a pressure wash off. And the motor inside the pressure washer has burnt out, or is burning out, so it really stinks. I've got it down here, I've just turned it off. Luckily I managed to clean the parts that needed cleaning, so this door needed a good clean, so that's going to get polished. A little bit of rust patch down there, and then the front bumper and the headlights. So thankfully they are clean, which means we can crack on with some work. So job number one I'm going to do is actually start tackling the driver's seat, which is filthy, steering wheel, and the door pull inside, because it's all kind of quite grimy. So I'm going to get in there. I forget, lock doesn't work terribly well there. Yeah, you can see it's quite grimy in there, so we're going to get in there. See, I've taken the handbrake gaiter off, going to put a new handbrake gaiter on as well, and start trying to peel off this gold applique that someone's put all over the dash vents. Yeah, so we'll crack on. Right, so normally you just use some leather cleaner or something like that, and then wipe it with a cloth. But I'm actually going to use a detailing brush just to really get it in there. So we'll drench. Don't know how well you can see that, but we'll drench the seat, especially the dirty bits, in this leather cleaning solution. We'll do the headrest as well. Yeah, get that really quite soaked with the leather cleaner. Now I'm going to work it in with the detailing brush, and already I can see we've got some nice foam happening there, which is good. So we're going to work all around the seat. Hopefully you can just about see that. In fact, I'll pull the camera closer so you can see it. So just working the leather cleaner into the seat. That's foaming up quite nicely, so that just needs that little bit of extra scrubbing just to get it clean. You can see how filthy it is, and we'll do the same when we come to do the sort of trim. Obviously we've got to use some thinners to get this applique off. That's coming up quite nice. I can already see the dirt kind of lifting off, which is good. So we'll really get it in there. The important thing, of course, is we're getting a lot of moisture in the car. I've got the windows open, and once this is dried off, we'll get some leather kind of cream in there just to nourish the leather, so we're not damaging these lovely, comfortable beige leather seats. So I'll do this, and then we'll wipe it off in a sec. So I've just wiped off a fair bit of dirt on the cloth, but not enormous amounts. So I'm actually going to give it another go with the cleaner, but let it soak in a bit more this time. Just need to worry about the base, really. That's the bit that's really mucky, so we'll just let that soak in for a minute, and then we'll zhuzh it off again, and then we can get some cream in there later on. So help has arrived in the form of Simon from Smashing Pistons. He's got his mighty box of bits and bobs there. So we're going to do that. We're going to do an experiment as well. I'm going to put Hourtrol, Ernest cap. So we're going to put Hourtrol on one headlight. So we're going to use conventional polish on the other. My neighbour is pondering with her dog. I don't know what she's doing.
She's pondering. I can't move until she decides we're moving.
Oh, fair enough. So we're going to Hourtrol up this headlight in a sec. Right, so first job, we'll have a go with the Hourtrol. I'm not convinced Hourtrol is a solution for this, but I've heard mixed reports. What about you?
It works alright on headies, but I flattened them off first, so...
We're going to try, they've been cleaned, so we're going to try neat Hourtrol.
Neat. Not even on the rocks or anything.
No. That is a joke, viewers, don't Same with engine jam. We'll just put a smear of it on these headlights and see what happens.
It looks alright at first.
It smells lovely.
And then you have to buff it off.
Yeah, I've got my microfiber in me back. Whenever I'm doing work out here, I always have a microfiber towel in the back pocket, just in case.
It makes you look professional.
Oh yes, like that high vis.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it seems to be about 14 sizes too big.
Yeah, I can see there's quite a bit of that. Could be internal. That little bit of crustiness there.
Yeah.
I reckon that could be on inside of.
On tin side.
On tin side of headlight. Right, let's pop that back. So we'll leave that for a bit, I think, to soak in.
Tacky.
And then we'll. So Simon's going to attack. Let's make sure you can see this corner here. Now I was going to take the bumper off this morning, but I decided not to because it's a bit of a faff on your own, I believe. But Simon's going to tackle this corner and then this little rust spot you remember in the previous video, so previous episode we showed you around the car. So we're going to tackle this first because that really is probably the most unsightly thing on this car.
Yeah.
So Simon, explain to the viewers what you're going to do.
All right, I'm going to get a bit of sandpaper first, rough all this bit up here.
Yeah.
There's a bit of mark there, but I think we'll be able to just back that off.
Yeah.
Put a bit of filler in these bits and pieces, try and smooth it off when that's hardened up. And then once that's done, a bit of primer on it, flatten that back and then some colour.
Perfect. And typically the weather has gone
Freezing.
It was 20 degrees 2 days ago, it's now 10 degrees, so just as we thought we'd have some warm weather so this could be done pretty quickly, we can't. That hour troll does smell interesting, doesn't it?
Smells like birds.
Interesting smell. Right. So I've actually wiped the hour troll off already. It's been on for like 5 minutes and I put a second coat on because it seems to be doing something. So if that's successful, we'll do it on the other one as well because it's a lot quicker if it does work. But Simon's going to start on the bodywork. I've got him in to do it. So I can learn from him because he's done a really good job with Henrietta.
Thank you.
That had a few dinks and niggles, didn't it? And you wouldn't know that it's been done. Well, sort of
an idiot.
I didn't say that.
Idiot in a garden.
It's been done with a rattle can in the garden, so it's amazing what you can do. Obviously, when Simon did that, it was summertime.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about, like it being too cold for paint to settle properly.
Yeah, but you have bought your hairdryer.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I don't have a hairdryer, funnily enough. So what have you got in your squirty can?
In here, it's just water.
Just water. So you're going to wet sand it.
Yes. Do you want me to do it now while you film?
Oh yes, that's the idea.
So just put a bit of water on here, basically.
So yeah.
And then.
And what grit is that sandpaper?
Well, this is like the coarsest, so 240.
240. So not coarse compared to a building grade, but it's for bodywork. It's 240 is a coarse grade, and he's gonna.
I don't know what a building grade coarse would be.
Oh, you got some real rough old stuff just to.
But like 80s, like the coarsest you get from bodywork places, isn't it?
Yeah, you're probably sort of 50s and lower for.
If we can get all these edges back, and then they're not going to flake off again when we put filler on them.
So just smoothing that off, good bit of loose paint. And are you using filler or just filler primer?
Got some proper filler. Cause I think
Proper filler?
Yeah, they're too deep for it just to be filler primer, I think. That filler primer I used before were a bit crap anyway.
Right, okay. So we're really experimenting because we're on the side of a road. It's quite a quiet road, my street, but it is a road nonetheless. Just move the camera ever so slightly. So
yeah, it is a good experiment. What can you do with that?
Yeah, how much can we get done? So I've got some platinum gold paint made up. No idea if it's a good colour match because I didn't want to move this car yesterday. So yeah, we'll do as much as we can in this video, but of course we'll have to bring you another video if we need to do some more work. And I'll do some bits. We'll see some bits on the inside as well. And then once the kind of cleaning and bodywork's done, we'll get it back up to Austin, who's going to just do a couple of bits with the suspension, track rod ends, drop links.
Gonna slam it to the floor?
No.
Oh. Are you sure about that, Ernie?
If I was keeping it, then yeah, I would be modifying the cat, that's for sure, and probably putting a little remap on the ECU. But this is a 135, so it's got a bit of poke anyway. It's not.
We should do a drag race between this and Henny.
I wouldn't at the moment because this one's got a bit of a clunk underneath.
Well, that's better for me then.
So we'll let Simon do this, and then we'll bring you some more footage in a moment. Right, so Simon's done his flatting off.
Oh, there misses.
Oh yes, and now he's just giving it a bit of a wipe with some panel wipe. Degreaser, call it what you will, so just get all those nasty little bits out of the paint.
I flattened this bit off as well because that's where some scratches were.
Yeah, so if you remember back to the previous video, we had a few bits and bobs there, so that's been done and all.
The next stage, filling.
Filling, Simon's going to get his filler out. Right, so panel wiping's been done. Simon's been very professional. He's got his high vis on, as you probably noticed, and he's also putting rubber gloves or latex gloves on. The filler has been opened. Filler smells lovely. But we don't encourage you to
Sniff it.
sniff it.
Sniff it.
Yeah, there we are. So we've got the filler. So I'm guessing we're going to apply some filler, then probably go and have a cup of tea while it goes off.
Normally it takes like 10-20 minutes.
Yeah. So I'll bring you closer. Yeah, I've got the filler. So obviously many of you will know what's going on here, but some of you may not. So if you're doing this for the first time yourself, you've got the filler, but you've also got this hardener as well. So as soon as you add the two together,
Starts to go hard.
it makes it cure basically. So you don't do it in the tin because then you've ruined your tin of
Goop.
filler. So you do it on a bit of cardboard or plastic or old yogurt pot, anything like that.
Anything you've got, really.
Yeah, just as long as it's not, just don't get it in the actual tin. Put that back there. So luckily we don't need too much filler on this. It's just to go in some of those deeper cracks that not really cracks, are they? It's more blemishes in the plastic.
Yeah, they're just like grazes, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
The thing with filler is I always end up mixing too much and then it goes off before you've had a chance
Yeah.
to use it.
We just need a smear just to really just...
Right, we're going in.
Right, here we go. So we'll do a bit of a close up, change the camera angle so that's a bit more interesting for you. So we'll come round here.
Oh, first time's always scary.
You'll do fine. Yeah, so I like to try and do stuff myself, but Simon has done such a cracking job with his own car, Henrietta, which is also a Rover 75. I thought I'll enlist his help. But also it's nice, being nice content, part of the YouTube community, to do sort of collabs like this.
Also, one of the things that you're doing on this is never put too much on. You can always add more on afterwards.
Yeah.
But it takes you an age to sand off.
A bit like adding salt to food then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can add, but you can't take away.
Well, this is an awkward shape as well.
Yeah. Well, you had that curve on Henny, didn't you, today? That was quite...
Yeah, it did take me
tricky.
like 3 or 4 attempts to get it like it is now.
Now my mother's just wrapped her car around one of her gate posts. And
is it a special occasion?
yes, and yeah, it turns out that the rear passenger side wing on her car is entirely made of filler. So that's another job's going to have to be done before it gets too much colder. I might just spray some lacquer on it actually for now, just to keep it from rusting.
Keep rust at bay.
Oh yes.
You don't want rust on your car, Ernest.
No, no. And Simon's referring to our other channel, which is the crankcases. So if you haven't checked out the crankcases, it's a completely non-serious spoof documentary about two former retired Longbridge employees. So do check it out. It's quite fun.
As you can see, this is starting to go off already because when I wipe the spatula over it, it's pulling top off. So, pulling top off.
What I say?
Oh, steady on. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So even in the cold, it's still going off pretty quick.
Yeah.
So it's a chemical reaction rather than a heat reaction.
Which is probably means there's some special name for it, but I can't remember.
A Maillard reaction? That's cooking. Right, okay, we will pause and take refreshment and be back out here in a sec. So while we're waiting for the filler to dry, we're going to just try an experiment. So Simon's going to flat back this headlight with some what grade sandpaper is that?
1200.
So very, very fine sandpaper. So that's going to take whatever's on top of that headlight off. It could be just bloom. It could be lacquer. Someone may well have sprayed these with you can get a kit. I think Maguire's make a kit, and you can you kind of polish the headlight off, and then you spray this lacquer on it. So this will remove anything like that, and then we'll actually try the Awatrol on a flatted back headlight.
See if it's any better.
Yeah, because we're not taking. I was going to take the bumper off this morning, but it's a bit of a pain on your own. You really need someone to kind of stop the sides of the bumper sprigging out and damaging the paintwork. So we're doing it in situ. Plus, it gives Simon a slightly harder surface to work on for sanding and filling and stuff like that, rather because these bumpers are actually quite spongy.
Yeah, they are really flexible, aren't they?
Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely something coming off there. We can see the water that's lubricating the sandpaper is kind of getting this creaminess coming. So there's definitely something coming off. And I think this is what I'm going to have to do with Penny's roof actually, is to get that bloom off, is to flat it back with 1200 grit.
So you're going to blow it over with some lacquer after?
Yeah. Needs a bit more. There's a bit of the roof on that. The lacquer's completely peeled off, but it's not disastrous. So it's not worth respraying the whole thing.
Yeah, it's definitely had something on this because you can tell it's a lot smoother. Where
yeah. So we'll let Simon flat that off, and then we'll get some Awatrol on it, and so we can then compare the two headlights together. So there's still bloom coming off the light, but it's infinitely better than it was.
There you go. Perfect now.
Look at that. So it's still cloudy, but that's your sandpaper. So we'll dry that off. We'll get a clean microfiber, and we'll actually Awatrol it and see what happens.
Exciting.
That's very exciting. Right, so that's been flatted back there. So you can see there's still a bloom on there, but that's from the sandpaper. So we really are experimenting. But of course, if things go badly wrong, we can always polish them with compound. So I'm just going to put some Awatrol on the headlight now. See what difference it makes having flatted the headlights off. I'm getting Awatrol everywhere. There's a little bit of water in there. So
Well, let's see what happens.
see what happens. I'll buff this one off straight away, and we'll put some more on it in a sec. so we'll let that dry off, and then we shall see how that one turns out. You can probably hear some kind of rubbing. I mean that in a non-kinky way. Simon's now just having a go on this door with some sandpaper. Just see if this little scuff that Tom had.
Is this what it's called, Tom?
Tom's the previous owner.
Oh, what's the car called?
I've named this car Miranda.
Oh yeah.
You shouldn't name cars you're going to sell over it, should you? We're just going to see if this brings on. I will get the machine polisher out on this later on. I think this is going to be a two-part this video, Simon.
Yeah.
But it is episodes 2 and 3 of preparing this car for sale.
If you look, all I've done is just rub that top bit back.
Has it come?
Yeah, it used to look like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it's come all right.
So
Look at that.
Needs a bit of lacquer on it, and that'll be it.
Yeah, so we can do that. That's easily done. Yeah, so that is good news, because that could have been a costly alteration to this car, but it's actually, whatever you scuffed it on, Tom's come off.
You can still feel it on some bits.
But it's a 19-20-year-old car, so we're going to have bits and bobs on it.
It's not going to be perfect.
No, but it'll make someone a very nice, economical, comfortable
Modern classic.
You can use daily.
You can sell it for £4 grand.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what they were. So we'll let Simon do that, and then I think we'll be sanding off some filler.
Oh yeah, that'll have gone off by now.
Oh yes. Right, so we've got our troll soaking into this headlight, which looks all right at the moment, but we'll return to that in a sec. Simon has made I don't know how well you can see it. The marks in that door have gone, so we'll just dry that off a bit more in a sec. Panel wipe it, and then just give it a misting of lacquer, I think, just to bring it back. But that has cured that door, and we haven't even had to get the rotary polisher out.
Not yet.
Not yet. And of course we're making the massive assumption that the paint is the right colour, which I'm sure it is. Excuse me there, camera going right up. So.
If not, you'll just have to buy loads of cans of wrong colour and do it all.
Yeah, well, we'll turn it into a
Project
Nigel type car. So yeah, so flatting off the filler, so more water. And are you on the 1200 grit again?
No, this is coarse, so this is
coarse,
800.
Right. It's 800 grit sandpaper. Still pretty fine, but a bit more grip and grunt in the 1200. And then I'm guessing filler primer.
Yeah.
Very satisfying.
This is where it takes forever.
But you get the idea, so we're just going to flat it back fairly carefully just to get the right contour.
Yeah, you can see when you get in there, because it starts feathering out rather than being a hard edge.
Yeah. And then yeah, we'll bring you the next step very shortly. So Simon's still sanding back the filler.
Exciting.
We've got a conclusion on the hour troll, so that's been sanded back and it's had 2 coats of hour troll on it. That hasn't worked, so I'm going to try a bit of elbow grease and I'm not going to use a sponge pad. I'm just going to use a microfiber towel, just so it's a bit gentle. But I was going to try a bit of compound in this now, because we haven't got a shiny headlight, and whilst we don't need to get an MOT on this car because it's got one, it'd be nice if it was kind of MOT-able. So I'm going to rub some of this compound in very gently. And of course the sun would come and shine right on the light and make it hot just as I start doing that. So I might have to wait till later, till the till the sun goes in. At least we can put a bit of compound on it. Right, we'll come back to this later. Right, so that's been sanded back. That's a nice shape now. So I'm just going to give it a bit of panel wipe just to remove the moisture from the water, and then we'll be on with the filler primer. Very satisfying, isn't it?
Look at that. That mark's come off. Done. Right, see you tomorrow.
So thank you for watching part 1 of getting this car ready to be sold.
Hello.
Simon's on motorbike. I've just been standing drinking tea, to be honest. So make sure you
drinking tea.
make sure you like and subscribe so you can see part 2 of this video. And I'll see you again on Beards and Bangers very soon. Goodbye.